everyone. Okay, so I might look terrible today, but that is because I'm vlogging and I did not put the effort into getting dressed like I normally do, and I left my hair back in a ponytail because I'm probably going to be putting it back to do this tutorial anyway. Okay, this is a very special video because this video came to me as a request, so I'm so excited about that. This video request came from a friend of mine that I went to high school with. Her name is Tiffany, and she asked how to do contouring. So I have two good videos that I'm going to link below that for any of you who are interested. One is from Jaclyn Hill, one is from Candy Johnson. The one from Jaclyn Hill is one that I discovered years ago, and that's sort of the video that I used to learn how to contour, but I still wouldn't say that I'm good at it yet. And the other one is a video that I recently discovered, and it just happened to pop up on my recommended videos, and I watched it. And she explains the process very well in very good detail, and it's very easy to understand. So both of those are good videos to reference if this video is not enough to cover everything for you, and it's probably not going to be because I'm not a professional makeup artist and I can only explain to you what I do myself, which is not professional. So there's cream contour and powder contour. Cream contouring is probably something you've seen before with all of the makeup stripes all over the face, and then you blend it all out and it creates your bronze look and your highlight look. And then powder contour, to me, I don't know if this is the correct definition, powder contour to me is just to like warm the face. You would put a little bronzer along the jaw, not the jawline, underneath the cheekbone, and something like that just to warm up the face and add a little bit of color and depth. I think contouring also includes highlighting. That's probably the difference between contouring and warming the face. Contouring, you're actually going to use highlight, light and dark, and bronzing or warming the face, you're probably just going to put a little bit of dark in a few areas just to create a little bit of depth. So the idea with contouring and bronzing and warming the face is you want to highlight the areas that you want the eye to be drawn to, which would be your brighter areas, your highlighted areas, the tops of your cheekbones, the center of your forehead, down the center of the nose, those types of things. And then you want to place darkness where you want everything to recede or put a little bit of depth into, or maybe even cover or hide a little bit. So one of the things that I like is the hollow of the cheekbones. So that is my favorite thing about wearing a bronzer, is it creates that cut in the cheekbones and hollows them out just a little bit. And then to match that, because you want to balance the color on your face, you don't want a lot of dark in one spot and then not have it throughout the face. So to balance the bronzer under the cheekbones, you would want to take a little bit and just put it along the top of the forehead, not down the middle, just around the top of the face up here. So that being said, everywhere you put dark, you want to brighten the other areas. So you can do a whole contour on the face, or you could just put on your foundation and go in with a bronzer. So I'm going to show you both ways today. I actually meant to show you the cream contour first, but I forgot and went ahead and put on my foundation. So instead I'm going to show you the powder contour, and then I will take all of this off and show you the cream contour. So for the powder contour, I'm going to use a couple of things. I just purchased this last night, and it was a little bit of a disappointment. This is a Wet n Wild contouring palette. It has a light shade and a dark shade. This is ideal for contouring. I actually think that I really like the light shade, but I could not get very much color out of the dark shade. So I'm going to try to use this today, and if it doesn't work, then I'm going to go in with this bronzer, which has been my favorite lately. This was recommended by a YouTuber that I watched. This is by the Pixi brand. This is a drugstore brand, and you can find it at Target. It is expensive to me because this was $20, and I think Hoola is made by Benefit. That's a bronzer that I've been wanting for a while. That's a $28 bronzer. So you'd almost rather pay $8 more to get the high end than spend a full $20 on a drugstore. But this is good. Oh, sorry. But this is good quality drugstore makeup. this to me seems like a high-end product. So it is worth the $20 and you can save yourself $8 on the Hoola. Probably some of the other bronzers are around $30 anyway. So this looks like this. I hope there's not too much shadow in here. This is just a nice tan contouring shade. And it has worked really well. I find that when you swatch it, this is what the swatch looks like. And when I wipe it on the hand, it seems the more that I blend, the more it just fades away. This can be a good thing and a bad thing. It has been both a good thing and a bad thing for me. It's good because it's very blendable and it will blend out on your cheekbone down to the shade that you want it to be. But it's bad because sometimes I will put a certain amount on my cheek and I'll accidentally blend it out too far and it will pretty much disappear. So you do have to be careful with it. I haven't really mastered it yet, and I do believe that you probably need to be a little bit experienced to get it on there just right. But definitely pick it up and try it out because you're gonna learn how to figure it out. You're gonna figure it out. It's not gonna be that hard. And a brush that I've recently started using is the e.l.f. I think this is a contour brush. I don't have a name on the brush, but this is by e.l.f. and I think it's like a chiseled contour brush. So it's just flat like this and thin, and it's perfect for just swiping right in here and getting into the cheekbone. I find that this, for me personally, doesn't blend the product out very well. It does apply it very well, but I can't get it to blend out very well. However, I think it does blend out the best compared to some of my other brushes. Brushes like these right here would be my go-to brush, but I think they're just too fat on the cheek because once I start blending, it seems to spread the product higher up on the cheekbone and lower down on the cheekbone, and that's not where I want to place my bronzer. Another brush that I've tried using is the e.l.f. angled brush. I like this brush to try to move the product around because the bristles aren't as dense, so it's going to blend a little bit better than a more compact brush like the Sigma F84. This is very compact, and this is literally made to transfer makeup, to pick up makeup and put on. For me personally, this doesn't blend out as well as this one does, and I think that's just because of the density of the bristles. But you know, I may be wrong about that too, who knows? So I think the brushes I'm going to use today are going to be the e.l.f. little chisel contour brush and the e.l.f. angled brush. Now let me explain to you what I'm doing before I get started. So there are lots of ways to bronze, and I'm going to give you the basic way to do it. There are so many, well, there's not so many, there's just so many different places that you can place bronzer. The basic thing that you want to do is you want to place it right here. You're going to start from the top of the ear and come down angled towards the corner of the mouth, but you're not going to come all the way down to the corner of the mouth. You're going to stop about halfway, and then you're going to blend all this out. You're going to do the same thing on the other side, and then you can, like I said earlier, place bronzer along the hairline, and you can bring that all the way down here to the temples. Do not go across the middle of the forehead because you want to keep that light. That's basic bronzing, so start with that. If you want to go further and get more advanced, you can bronze just underneath the bottom of the lip to create a shadow under the lip, which creates a fuller bottom lip. You can also, in relation to that, highlight the top of the lip, which would be the Cupid's bow, and that will brighten the top of the lip, creating a more fuller top lip. You can also bronze along the jawline on both sides. I don't remember if you can take it all the way across the bottom of the chin, but I know that you can contour this little area right here along with this area, and then you want to brighten the center of the chin, and then you can come down the nose. You will start right up here at the eyebrow. I don't know if I'm going to start right here under the eyebrow, come down the side of the nose on both sides, and that will help you to create a more narrow nose. Also, if you have a crooked nose, I learned this from the Candy Johnson video, you can draw a straight line of bronzer down the sides of the nose along with your highlight down the center, which would be in between those two bronze lines. And because your line is straight, it will create a straight look on your nose. And that is a makeup trick that you can use. So, okay, so I think that's all the places that you can place the bronzer. That's all the places that I know of. But for right now, I'm just going to do the hollows of the cheekbones and the tops of the forehead. And I'm going to try to use this brown color. But if that fails, I'm going to go in with this one. I think this light color will be nice and bright though, so I am going to use that one. Okay, and I'm hoping that I have good enough light and camera quality to really capture what I'm doing here. I did specifically wait until these lights I ordered came in to do this video because I knew that it would not look good in the dark. So the first thing I'm going to do, and I don't think this color is going to pick up, I'm going to use this brown color and this brush to dip. I'm going to try to get as much product on there as I can because I could not get it to show up for me yesterday. So I'm just going to draw a line. That showed up, didn't it? It's going to look like this. You do want to make sure that you get it up in the hairline so that it looks like it starts from back here. You don't want it to just start on the face. This still has a little bit of product left on it. So I'm going to put this one down and just try to blend with this one because I don't want to spread more product all over the face. I want a clean brush to go in and blend this out. If I didn't already put too much on to begin with, so. Oh, I forgot to mention something to you. This is a tip that I have been hearing from Jaclyn Hill. See, it looks blended out in my mirror, but it's not blended out on that camera. She recommends going ahead and setting your foundation before you go in with your powdered bronzer, and the reason is because when you set your foundation with a powder, you've laid down a powder layer to put your powder bronzer on top of. And that makes it easier to blend it as far as compared to putting the powder bronzer directly on top of a cream makeup, which kind of makes it stick in one place, kind of like an eyeshadow and a primer, like the eyeshadow sticks to the primer. So it probably is more helpful. I haven't really remembered to use that trick yet, but it is probably more helpful to set your foundation with a powder. It can be a translucent powder or just a regular pressed powder, and then go on with your bronzing powder. I forgot to do that today, so we'll see how it works. And the sad thing is, I know the techniques to use to create the right look, but I haven't mastered the skill. So it's really sad because I know exactly what to do, I just can't do it. I'm trying to get this blended out without it disappearing completely, and it probably will disappear because that's always what happens. For some reason I love the look of bronzer, but I cannot get used to the look on myself. And I think that it always looks too dark, and I just have to blend it out until it's gone. I'm just going to see what I have left on this brush from the last application, and if I can get enough color on there. Yes, I have plenty left. Okay, I think I still got product left on this brush because apparently I put way too much on there, so I'm gonna start going in with the forehead. Okay. And then you want to go in and highlight after that. I don't think that you have to highlight. I think it depends on your skin tone. I feel like I'm fair enough that I don't really have to highlight. I think that I'm fair enough that if I put something dark on my face, the rest of my face is white enough to balance it out. So use your preference on this, I think. But generally you do want to go in with a highlight, so I guess, you know, if you're not sure, just go ahead and do it anyway. I'm going to use this lighter shade here, and it actually did look pretty good last night. My new favorite place to highlight is right on the Cupid's bow. I use that Becca Opal or the Becca Champagne Pop, and it really creates a nice highlight on the top of the lip. I'm gonna go get it and show it to you real quick. I hauled this in a recent video that I did. It was the Sephora haul, and I bought this online. So, I don't know if you can tell that it's there, or if it looks too bright to you. Usually it looks too exaggerated to me, so I'll go in and just fluff it out with a brush. So I'm going to continue highlighting. Okay, so the places that you want to highlight are going to be the tops of the cheekbones, the center of the forehead, the center of the chin, down the center of the nose, and I think that's it. You can also go underneath this bronzer and carve that out if you want to, but I think that's all that you need to highlight. That's all that I highlight. By the way, with your bronzer, I think you can take that and put it around, I don't know if it's around the corners of the nose or if it's, I know that you can take it down here. I wasn't trying to fix my nose. Okay, so that's it for the powdered bronzer look. And I don't know how well it's picking up on the camera and with these lights, but those are the techniques and that's the proper way to do it. I need to practice on my blending and my placement, but once I get that down, I think I'll be good to go. So now I'm going to go wash all this off and show you the cream contour. That one's not going to be pretty because I have tried that one and it doesn't work out for me. So I am going to go ahead and recommend this palette because I really have enjoyed using it today. This is the Wet n Wild contouring palette with a highlight and a contour, highlight, contour. This is in the shade Caramel Toffee. I thought this was the only two colors that they had, but they might have more. So check this one out, especially if you're just wanting to practice and get the feel for it. You don't need to really spend a lot of money, and I think this went on pretty well. And this was $4. So check that one out if you're wanting to just practice and get something to play around with, or go ahead and spend more money if you want to. But if you want to spend a little more money, I do recommend this one. This is a good contouring shade. You can really get a nice contour with this. But again, this is $20, so I don't know if you're interested in spending that much money. Okay, so now I'm going to go wash my face and start all over with cream contouring. This is a video that I'm trying to get up by Thursday along with all these vlog videos, so see how busy I am today. We'll see how busy I am with all of this vlogging. And this cream contouring is not going to be pretty at all. I have been practicing doing it because I just thought it would only take a few good times before I figured it out. But I can't get any of my brushes to do what I want. So I'm going to just use my fingers today and see if that works any better. So the colors that I'm going to be using for this cream contour is going to be a CoverGirl. You can use concealers for this. It's going to be the CoverGirl Fresh Complexion in the shade Classic Ivory. The negative thing about this product is I can never get more than a dot out of the tube at a time. So that's what this color looks like. It matches my skin complexion perfectly. All of the other concealers that I've purchased since then are too dark for me. If I were to cover my entire face with concealer, it would look darker than my neck. Or if I were to use it on top of a foundation, sometimes it looks darker than my foundation and it looks patchy. So this would be like your highlight color. You would want a light shade for your highlight color. And this is going to be like your bronze color. So this is just a dark concealer. This is the e.l.f. HD Lifting Concealer. I would recommend a couple of e.l.f. concealers to start out with, just to play around with and practice, because they're $1 or $3 a piece. And I'll show you this one on the hand as well. But it is a nice contrast between the light color. It might actually be too dark. Something that I find that happens to me every time I try to do this, I've tried this 3 or 4 times in a row, and for some reason my dark shade mixes into my light shade, and although you can see a little bit of the contrast between where I place the two colors, it just colors my whole entire face slightly darker than my neck and looks unnatural. So I'm going to start with bronzing. that you did not place the darkness. And you could use this as a base for your makeup as well. So I'm gonna blend with my fingers because every attempt that I used with a brush, no matter what kind it was, it did not work out for me. Okay, so this is probably going to look pretty choppy because part of it started to dry before I got to finish blending it out, but using my fingers did work the best. Now I'm going to go in with this Sigma F80 brush because this is my best blending brush that I have, and see if I can get it to blend out any further. Turns out the parts that I couldn't get to blend out did blend out really well with this Sigma brush, but now it looks like some of my color has disappeared. So this is my completed look for the cream bronzer. I'm not sure how well it's going to show up with these lights in this camera. I don't know if you can see any darkness at all. I have a little bit along here and here, a little bit right here. I have it down the sides of the nose and across the top of the forehead. That's a dog playing with a dog toy. And this is the best that I can do. This has been the best turnout for me so far since I have been practicing for about a week now. So I'm pretty satisfied with this. But I have provided you with all of the tips and tricks that I know of and that I can think of. And I'll also link those 2 videos below. And so go watch those videos as well to get a more in-depth, more professional perspective makeup tutorial. But thank you so much for this request. It has made me so happy to have a request come in that I can fulfill. And thank you so much for watching. And it's back to vlogging for me today. So bye. You put a highlight color in between those 2 bronzed sides. Dexter, get out of that trash! Come here! Excuse me. Come say hello to the camera. Here's Max. He makes little grunty noises when you hug him. And Nikki. Oh. Say hello, Max. Say hello. Hello. Don't kiss me. He just wants to smell my makeup. Say hello, Max. Hello, Max. Looking at all my makeup. He says, I wish Mommy would stop hugging me. I don't like her hug. You want to help me put on makeup? Ugh.